welcome, man. Welcome to CSR. This is our first podcast. This is our first time doing anything like this, so bear with us. This is going to be raw, unedited, uncut, and it's going to be... We're going to try to make it helpful so everybody can get something from it.
100%.
But at the same time, you know, if you know me personally, my name's Stephen. If you don't know me, we're Stephen Deans. And obviously we've got Kyrel over there.
Yes.
Well, one thing about us is we are raw, and we don't cut corners. So if it's something we want to say, we're going to say it. And if you get upset, then it is what it is.
Just keeping it real, man. Just keeping it real.
100%. You got to. So what we're going to do, we're going to start with an introduction. So who am I? Furthermore, who are you, Kyrel? Let's talk about you first.
Yeah,
you go first.
All right, I'm Kyrel Queensborough, and I'll introduce you first. I was a player at CSR, you know, just going through my football journey, met Coach Steve, and yeah, it was just a great experience. I learned so much coming CSR as a player, and it changed me as a person. You know, I always had that hunger and desire to always want to improve and express myself on the ball, and I feel like I did that. I enjoyed my journey, went to trials for Chelsea, didn't work out, but still was a great experience, and I learned a lot from it. And then eventually, I feel like my love for the sport kind of died down, and, you know, life happens, you know, things change, and then trying to look for a job, decided to try out coaching, and where better to start than the place that I got coached, you know?
Yeah, so a bit about me. I've been coaching a long time, 20 years. So my name's Stephen, by the way. Coached a long time, worked with a lot of players, had a lot of success in developing players from grassroots to, I hate the word elite, but to elite football. But along that way, I saw that there was a problem with the amount of players that was not hitting their peak, who never actually got to their potential. So I spent a lot of time just looking and observing people who didn't make it. You know, when I say make it, I mean even out of grassroots into academy who had the ability. So I spent a lot of time like analysing, why is this happening? Why is this happening? Why is everybody failing, you know, when the talent's there? So I was just observing a lot of players, and even the ones that got into academies at those times, I was trying to work out what the difference is between them and the ones that didn't get signed. And I put it down to one of the three things, you know, and it comes down to confidence, self-esteem, and resilience.
So when you're looking at a player, what are, apart from those things you just listed, what are the main attributes you're looking at in a player, whether they're elite or they're just beginning?
So for me, for a beginner, for any person, I just want to see if they want to play the game first of all. You know what I mean? Because a lot of time, a lot of children don't even want to play. It's not them; it's their parents forcing them to play, or something else. There's another reason why they're there. So you can tell if somebody actually wants to play football. So I want to see that first. So if they've got that, you can see it if somebody wants to play. You know what I'm saying? When they come, 100%. You just know they run on the pitch, they're happy, hey, go, that. Well, not everybody's bubbly like that, but I want to see that first. You know what I mean? And then after that, it's just about what they want to see first. I want to see where they stand first, what level they're at. Yeah. Always assess them in that. So do they want to play first of all? What level they're at, and also who their parents are. Through experience, when in the early days I just took any player, any parent, it was all good. I didn't know much about parents then. But now I observe the parents more than I observe the kids. Because, you know, if you get the wrong parent, it's long. It's a long day when you get the wrong parent.
A lot of people don't understand that because, you know, it's the parents that control everything. You can have the best player in the world, but if they don't have a good support system,
it's long.
Ain't going to make it.
It's long. Talking about make it, they won't even make it out the session. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of the time, if a player doesn't have the right parent behind them, or if the parent's too involved, then they're always going to be looking to that parent as an escape route. Do you know what I'm saying? Or for reassurance, you know? So I like to look at the parent to see if they are able to allow their children to be coached. And if they are, then it makes me even more enthusiastic about coaching that child.
100%,
you know?
100%.
So what do you think about, what do you think when you first see a child? What do you look at?
What I'm looking at is, I'm looking at the character for me personally, because at the end of the day, as well as me doing my job, we're all people. We're all people, and I like to look at characters and personalities and who's this kid. You know, do they have a strong character? Because you got a strong character, you become a strong athlete. Become a strong athlete, you become a strong footballer. Football is the easy part.
Easy.
It's what a lot of people don't know. Yeah, they think, oh, my kid's got to be the best on the ball with the skills and nah. That's all. It's a skill. You can teach that. It's just time. What time you put into it. But being a strong character, that's within the actual person. So that's what I look at first.
100%.
You know,
100%. But again, we have to segment it out though, because if you get like a 5-year-old, like we're not going to see the
100%.
You know what I'm trying to say? But
yeah.
in a 5-year-old, they should just be happy.
There's certain aspects of a 5-year-old I'm looking at. Is this 5-year-old a little attentive? Do they follow instructions well? When I'm talking to them, are they looking at the sky, or they look at me and
100%.
listening to the coach? So those small things for a younger player.
Yeah, of course. Because again, you get some 5-year-olds who are alert, they're on it.
Yeah.
But then you get a 5-year-old who just their attention span's like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So at CSR we will take them, but we'll explain to the parent, okay, this ain't the right time for that child because they're not able to focus. But if they're like 6, 7, 8, I'm looking at their parents.
Yeah.
I'm being 100% real. I'm looking directly at their parents, and if they talk, a lot of the time when the process for people to get into CSR, I don't know if I've spoken to you about this, but we have they have to go online and they click a scheduled call.
Yeah.
So they will schedule a call with one of us, like Ashaya or myself. And then Ashaya is our admin lady and also a coach for us as well. So for those who don't know. So we'll take that call. And the first time, some of the parents, the first thing they talk about is, yeah, my son is this, he's been at this pre-academy, this. The first thing they talk about is all the pre-academy stuff. That's a red flag to me.
Yeah.
Because you don't know anything. Already, kid's 7, 6. Yes, he might be good, but all you're talking about is pre-academy. Like it's going to make me think that their child's good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's 100 kids in the pre-academy.
And it doesn't really matter if the child's good, because if the child's good and attitude's poor, they're not going to get in.
Exactly. And if the parent's mad, if the parent don't know what they're doing, then it doesn't even matter if the kid's got talent, because it's not going to work anyway. So that conversation we have, I try my best to give them information, and if they're receptive at that point, then I know that they're okay.
Yeah.
Some of them slip through the net. When they slip through the net, they land, and then 2 weeks in, right? Can I go to the top group? Can I go to the under 10s? And they try to push them too fast.
It's a process, man. It's a journey.
Yeah. So that's the problem is they try to go too fast for their kid, and then they crash. So trying to get some trying to like get some direction in this conversation. I want to go into me as a coach, you as a coach.
Yeah.
Right? I have my own way of doing things.
100%.
You have your own way of doing things. But what do you think that every coach should have as a bare minimum?
Bare minimum. It's a bit of a hard one, because I feel like the bare minimum for coaching varies depending on what club you go to and who the coach is. You know what I mean? I feel like at CSR the standards are quite high, whereas, you know, other clubs that might not be the case. But I would say for me it would have to be adaptability. For me, every coach has to be adaptable to different situations. You know, we're not robots. Everything's not going to go perfectly to plan. Kids, we're dealing with kids. You know what I mean? Like, if things are going to go terribly wrong, it's the whole point. You know? But if a coach is adaptable to a situation, we can work well with it. We work well as a team, and we work well with people. You got to be a people person. You know, if you're not a people person, you can only go so far with the coaching. You know, be a good person, talk to people, make them feel welcome. That's what I believe in, at least.
Yeah. And again, I agree with that. So for me, I think the foundation of it all is being adaptable.
Yeah.
And also understanding that you've got to be a people's person, correct?
Yeah.
Because if you're not a people's person, then it's long for you. It's a long day. Every session's a long day, because you've got to be able to build rapport with different types of kids from different backgrounds.
Yeah.
But more importantly, you've got to want to do it for the right reasons.
100%.
So what I've gathered in trying to hire coaches and having coaches around is that most people just want to build a name for themselves, you know, which is good for people. And I'm always, you know me, I'm always pushing you.
Yeah.
But at the same time, the bottom line is you got to do the foundation work first.
Yeah.
Like a lot of coaches, they try to come in at the top end without doing the groundwork.
Yeah.
And I think those are the ones that are everywhere. And when they try to, when I'm putting ads out on the internet and stuff for coaches, they're always talking about they want to work with elite kids and stuff like that. So that already shows me that they don't have what I need them to have. You know, the foundation of the love of actually helping children.
Yeah. To understand that this coaching it's not for me. It's not for me. It's not for the coaches. It's for giving back the kids to, you know, as a player. I think back to when I was a player. What did I want? And always growing up, I always wanted that coach to support me and with my football journey. You know, some people's parents aren't as involved in their football, so they're looking for that validation in coaches. For me, my parents were kind of involved, you know what I mean? But for me, you was that coach. You know what I mean? I always look for that guidance in you. So I'm thinking from a coach's perspective now, maybe that one-to-one talk with that kid might make his whole day better. You don't know what happened. He could have had a terrible day at school, and his one escape is that training session that you're hosting. And if you can just change that kid's little day by giving him the guidance and showing him that you believe in him, it will change the rest. Could change the rest of his life.
100%.
So you got to put passion into what you do.
This is it, and that's why we don't. This is why I have struggled with coaches, because most coaches don't have that mindset of yours.
Yeah.
They've all got this other motive. You know, they come in and they say, elite only, elite kids, but they've never developed a player in their life.
Yeah.
So how can you talk about elite kids if you've not developed nobody? You don't even know. Like, I can develop elite kids. I've developed them from basic to elite, but you've come in and you're going straight to elite. How? Like, what do you mean? That you can't talk about elite kids if you've not done nothing.
Yeah.
Like, you don't know what 2 left feet looks like. You know what I'm saying? They're having a kid with 2 left feet.
Yeah.
Like, I can talk about a player like Anissa, one of our best girls that we've got currently at Arsenal Football Club. But when she first came in, she had 2 left feet. I don't know. When she came in, I said to the mum, I don't know what to do with her. I didn't know.
Yeah.
But we just stuck it out.
Now.
And we're going to put some clips up of her in this, somewhere. We're going to put it up so you can see what we're talking about.
Dangerous.
Somewhere in here so you can see it. But
yeah.
Like, again, that's from 2 left feet. So that's not just me. That's myself, Kyrel, Jawad, and the team working with her to get her to that state. But again, it all comes from a foundation of a player came in, we didn't know what to expect, and we just nurtured it and came through. So the basis of a coach can't be your qualification. It can't be all the noise behind you. It has to be down to the love of helping somebody.
Yeah.
Whether that person's good, whether that person's bad, whether that person's slim, whether that person's fat. Because we have fat kids coming. Yeah. And you know, when the fat kids come in, it's long for them. Because I don't kick them out, but they have to run. They got to work. We make 100%. Sure they work. We speak to them about diet. We speak to them about all these things. So, don't be offended, by the way, me calling somebody fat, because fat is fat.
It's a good thing. Some people need to hear it.
And what do you say exactly?
It's a good thing because it allows somebody to grow 100%. Like, if your kid's fat or if you're fat or whatever, that's just the truth. But it's not a bad thing. That gives you an opportunity to change, you know, and there's beauty in that change. It's not always a bad thing of, you know, that hurt my feelings. Boo-hoo. World's tough. The world's tough. Yeah. That's how it is. Yeah. But it's on you if you're going to stay that little fat insecure kid or if you're going to grow in that, because there's a lot behind that fat little kid that you see there. Could have the strongest character and potential in the world. Exactly. And it's down to them to take the opportunity to change that. 100%. So I see the potential now. If I see a fat kid, I'm just thinking, right, imagine
if you trim down.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
That's exactly what I think. So when we have them in, we talk to them, we help them, we explain to them what they need to do, and we just push them and support them.
Yeah, 100%.
So them type of players wouldn't get in other places. But when they trim down, that's when their name starts to ring. And we've got loads of those players who came in overweight. Like Noah, for example, when he came into me, Noah was at Chelsea. Unfortunately, didn't get his professional contract, but he's still in the game. But when he first came into us, overweight.
I couldn't imagine it now.
You can't imagine. Exactly. I said to him, bro, what's this? I said, you want to play football, but this is mad. I had to sit him down and say, this is madness. Like, what's all of this?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? And he fixed it. And then he got signed at Chelsea Football Club. But if you didn't have that conversation, and it wasn't only him, there was another kid that came in, him Rio, he was the same. Double the size of Noah, but good at football. You know, but when you have that conversation with them and you support them through it, they get the bug to actually improve. You know? And then they improve. So again, back to the point, the foundation of a coach needs to be the care and the want to help the person in front of you, whatever that's a top end player or a person who doesn't have that at that moment. And I feel everybody can get there if they've got the right support network around them. So that's the parents, the coaches. It takes a lot of work, but with the right team and at CSR, we welcome them.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean?
100%.
So, yeah, I want to welcome Leon to the house, though.
Yeah.
Yo,
My
what's
guy.
good, man? What's good?
My guy.
Steve.
You're gonna leave me hanging, you know.
Oh my God! Sorry,
I got you.
sorry. Respect, man. So yeah,
I caught the tail end of what you guys were talking about, like working with the kids or players and developing them through where they are now to where they want to be. And you said something spot on there, Kyrel. Like, it's the truth. If someone's overweight, if they're out of shape, if they're slow, if there's something that isn't quite marrying up with where they need to be, then it's the truth.
Yeah.
And if it upsets them, hopefully that pain is enough to drive them to do something to change their situation.
100%. And you got to embrace it. You got to embrace it, man. Because if you don't, it's just going to eat you up and you're going to crumble and you're just going to, just keep living with 40%, and you're never going to know how great you could have become because you were too caught up in your feelings. Football's a harsh world. It doesn't care about how you feel. I had to tell a lot of players this. Football does not care how you feel. You know what I mean? But here, we care how you feel, but we're going to give you the truth of what you should do to change it. And that's the important part of it. That's the important part.
But the real thing is, a lot of people are afraid to do what they need to do in order to change their situation. Like, getting up in the morning at 5 in the morning to do 50, 100, 200 press-ups. A lot of the thought of that frightens a lot of people. But you know what? Fear is temporary, but regret is permanent. And when they get to a certain age and their expiry date has passed and they can never go pro, they can never realize their dreams, that's a regret that's going to be with them for the rest of their life. So if you can see my face and hear my voice right now, remember, fear is temporary, but regret is permanent.
Yeah.
trust me.
Yeah,
man. So so that was a question we asked, and I think we covered it well.
Yeah.
The next one, this one, I want to ruffle some feathers. You know me, I like to ruffle some feathers, man.
Some people are going to catch feelings.
I shoot back. Yeah, when I shoot back at parents.
Yeah.
I feel more people need to shoot back at parents because, like if you follow me on social media, I don't hold my tongue. I shoot out. It's like sometimes it's a shootout. I go at everyone, I just go at everyone. And the reasons why I do that is I want people to start thinking. And the problem now is because football is a paid for sport now. It used to be free, like voluntary everywhere, but now majority of football is paid for. So now because it's so competitive and where we are based especially, there's loads of clubs, loads of private academies. And the problem now is because everybody's fighting for kids, nobody wants to talk to these parents properly. They don't want to tell them that they're moving mad. You know what I'm saying?
I'm a parent, so I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, see there? So nobody wants to tell them that they're moving mad. Nobody wants to tell them. And because of that, I feel that they get past, and I'm a parent myself, but these parents go past their remit, with coaching and like what they expect from people, like calling people at 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock at night,
Pay for that.
You know what I'm trying to say? Like, all of these things.
Your time is money, right?
Trust me.
You got a family, like you said, you're a parent. You got a family.
That's what I'm saying.
So
But,
pay the man.
but the thing now, I'm talking about shooting back now. When they're saying things like, why is my son or why is my daughter not playing today? Or why did you sub my daughter? What do you mean, why did I sub your daughter? Go back to the sideline. What do you mean, why did I sub your daughter? She didn't do what she needed to do, and she has to learn also that the sub bench isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
Just being on the sub bench isn't a bad thing. You could be on the pitch suffering because you are too tense. Whatever it is, it could be something going on with that player. That person coming off the pitch, you get a chance to talk to them. I get a chance to talk on the side. I get a chance to educate that person, help that person, you know. But if they come off the pitch and they're all giving me attitude and stuff like that, I'm not putting them back on. I'm just not. So if a parent gets upset with that, which they always do, why is my son this? Why is my son that? Move.
It's entitlement.
Yeah, move.
Yes, entitlement. Talk the thing, Kyrel.
I'm not playing that.
Yeah.
Again, I'm not playing that because, again, just because you're paying doesn't mean you can come and do all that. I'm trying to say you can't do that.
See, the other thing that you need to touch on as well is you've got players that earn their place on the pitch.
Exactly.
As well. Every parent is paying for their child to be there, but not every child is earning their right to play.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
You said it. It's just like I said, that entitlement of I paid for my kid to be here. I want them to enjoy themselves and I want them to be the star of the show. But like you said, they got to work for that, and that's where it's a communication between the parent and the kid, but in the right way. Because some parents will be too harsh or won't say the right things, and then that's when you start getting players that tense up on the pitch, right? When all it is I believe all a parent should expect from their child is their child to try their hardest. That's it. That's it.
That's the most important thing, like.
That's it. That's it. Just talk to your kid and say, listen, I'm paying this much. I'm going here. It's time, it's money, it's effort. I'm tired, but I'm still doing it. I just want you to try your hardest. That's all I'm asking. The rest is in your hands and your coach. Yeah. Once you do that, you've now given the child the freedom to make mistakes and to express themselves. So a lot of kids, they freeze up on the pitch, or they don't want to make a mistake, or they're hesitant. That's affecting them, and then they can't try their hardest because they're just overthinking, they're overstimulated on the pitch. And then when they're getting shouted at by the coach to come off because they're not performing, kids are not having a good time. Then it's like, is it the coach's fault? No, it's not. It's nobody's fault, really. It's the network system of what's going on. Stress from home, transfers onto the pitch. Stress from home, transfers to school. It all bubbles up. And then that's what the coach has to deal with in training or in matches, you know.
Well, you said it's nobody's fault, but there's always a route. And a good coach will identify what the route is.
Yeah.
And an even better coach will not only identify the route, but know how to manage that situation to take them from where they are to the promised land, i.e. the dream goal, you know. But parents, oh my Lord. Yeah, remember, I was on the sideline with the parents before I started coaching.
Yeah.
You know, and I hear what parents say. Yeah, I hear the nonsense that they shout from the sideline, clear it! And they're coaching other people's children when they're saying that as well, you know.
Yeah.
Shoot! Coaching other people's children when they're saying that, you know.
Yeah.
Then they're getting annoyed at their child, you know, to the point where some children are petrified to walk away from the game because they've got that dreaded car journey on the way home with their parent. That's a huge problem. Yeah, don't even get me started.
It's all mad, bruv.
Yeah,
it's all mad. The whole thing's mad. The whole thing's mad. And luckily with us, we don't have those parents. We have one or two, but we don't have them like how other clubs have them. Do you know what I'm saying? Because reasons why with us we just don't have it.
Well, look at last season. From the beginning of the season, you told all of the parents in the team what the expectation was.
Yeah,
you made it very clear. You know, and I think that's one of the most important things. You make it clear from the outset to both the players and the parents. You know, that book there is one of my favorite books, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Yeah. The second habit is begin with the end in mind. So when you positioned us, and I'm not speaking as the coach now, I'm speaking as the parent whose child is on the team that we coach. You know, you began with the end in mind. You knew what the expectation was for the end of the season. It was painful in the beginning. We took some L's, but the L's that we took were learning experiences, not losses. Do you know what I'm saying? And then the team galvanized. Some of the fat got trimmed. Do you know what I mean? And the players started to develop, and we ended the season on a high. And that's exactly what you had visualized for the team from the outset. But you told us straight, boom, this is what I expect. It's going to be painful in the beginning. Like, no goalkeeper, reset man, no gloves, bare goals flying in the net. Kids were crying, they were upset. But after 3-4 games, if the ball went in the net, they didn't care.
Yeah.
And I bought into that because you explained it from the beginning.
Yeah. And let me explain that because I think a lot of people don't understand that, and everyone says, "Oh, Steve, we've got no goalkeepers anywhere." Like we've got one goalie, 2 goalies now, 2 goalies in CSR Football Club, only 2, and 2 out of how many kids? 2 goalies. So the purpose of it, the reasons why I'm against having a set goalkeeper early is because when you have goalkeepers, everyone else relaxes.
Yeah.
They use that person, that goalkeeper, as safety for them.
Yeah.
See what I'm trying to say? But when you take that goalkeeper, I remember you've played football in the streets before, yeah? There's no goalie. You're going for it. Yeah. You're not letting nothing stopping you. Do you know what I'm trying to say? You can't.
True.
It's madness. You can't just let the ball go there, because if it goes there, it's in.
Yeah.
So you got to hustle. So it's that same philosophy. If you have the goalkeeper in there, that goalie is your safety. Take the goalie out, or you put somebody there, but that person's not officially a goalkeeper. He's not got no gloves on. He's just there, right? But he's got to be considered as an actual player. So when you take the goalkeeper away, then everyone works harder.
100.
It's a psychological thing. You work harder.
Yeah.
So do I want the players to work harder or have safety? I want everyone to be uncomfortable. If you're uncomfortable, you learn more. So you lose more games. Of course, you lose more games. You have to fight more. You play good football, and they score against you. Now you got to come back after working hard. Then they score again. Now you got to come back. So it's always uphill. Everything's uphill. So under 7s, under 8s, you do it from then when everyone else has got goalkeepers. And furthermore, when they have their goalkeepers just standing up anyway. All the opposition are just standing up scared. Everyone's just scared. The goalie doesn't do nothing. They're just hoofing it forward.
Yeah.
But we have a player at the back. He's learning how to receive under pressure. He's able to stay calm. At the end of it, whoever's there can look up and pass the ball to the left, to the right, play balls forwards, travel with the ball, play balls forward. So that person then moves forward as a centre back. Then he can be a centre back, centre mid, all that, just by learning how to deal with pressure. So Anissa was one of the players that did that too. She was at the back. So with the girls group, they became super strong. Getting battered in the beginning, but they became super strong. All the teams that used to beat us can't beat us anymore. Beat everyone. But that's not because of... that's just because we just train every single one to just play and not worry about the silly things like a goal going in. Obviously, we want to win, but the ball going in the back of the net it's down to all of us not stopping that person shooting. Yeah. So, for example, we had an under-10s tournament, no goalie, but we didn't concede a goal until we got to the penalties in the quarterfinals. Yeah. You know what I'm trying to say? And how did we do that? Because we didn't let them shoot. The minute someone had the ball, we're on top of them. All the players were hustling, Boom. So it's a mindset. So if you condition them long enough, they won't let no one run past them. Yeah. But if you have a goalkeeper, it's harder. It takes you longer to get them to hustle. Yeah. So that's why I don't have the goalkeeper thing in there.
Makes a lot of
I'm
sense.
trying to say, because I'm thinking about the longevity of that child. Yeah. And if I'm going to have a person in there who shows the skills and the ability to actually be in goal, I'm still going to treat him like an outfield player, because he needs to learn to use his feet. 100%. He needs to get that ball to his feet and play. You understand? So if all these other goalkeepers out there claiming that they're goalkeepers, when I put you under pressure, we see then. Yeah. See what I'm trying to say? When pressure comes, no goalkeeper.
Yeah, can you deal with it?
You're out the door. You're kicking it off. You're shaking. When the 2-0 done, and you let one in, you're finished. You're crying. You want to go home. See what I'm trying to say? Yeah. But
that's when they start getting into their head, innit?
It's what I'm saying.
They don't know how to deal with it and how to manage.
This is what I'm saying.
Their emotions in that situation.
That's why you got to train them like footballers. And then once they're ready, you then start teaching them how to be a goalkeeper, but they're still footballers in their head. Yeah. They're not thinking like goalkeepers. Yeah. Then they can start doing the shot stopping and everything else, but they're good with their feet. They understand it. They're not scared. Yeah. If the ball comes to them, they're not scared. They can take the ball anyhow, in the air. They can take it on their chest, thigh, inside foot, whatever it is. They can control the ball. Do you understand? So that's why I don't do the goalie thing. Everyone looks at me like I'm mad. I'm not mad. You're mad. You know what I'm saying? You're mad. You're mad. I'm not mad. And I've shown it multiple times. There's results. It's not like me just talking nonsense. There's results. We can all see it. Yeah. And that's how we develop the teams. So, and when a goalkeeper comes, good for them. You know what I'm saying? And we'll coach them. But if I could not have a goalie forever, I wouldn't have them. But you need to have a goalkeeper as you get older. You do have to have them. But
it's funny because as you're talking, sorry to interject, but I could just picture the second game in last season, right, when the team are under 10 boys, or they're currently under 10 when they were under 9s. It was their second game playing together as a team, and we went up against a notorious team, right? You know the match I'm talking about now. And in the first half, we conceded 12 goals, if I'm not mistaken.
It's mad.
Right? And that's because no goalkeeper, reset man, no gloves, right? At half time, there was some players there that could actually play, yeah, but they were so deflated, they were unmotivated, they were shook, some of them, do you know what I'm saying? And you gave them a good talking to, and I remember the first thing you said is, if we don't have a goalkeeper, number one, why are you getting upset on goals that are going in that would have been stopped by an actual keeper with gloves on? Or even if I put gloves on any of you, you would have saved that goal. Why are you getting upset? And then the kids thought about it, and they thought, yeah, no, that's true. And he goes, furthermore, they shouldn't even be celebrating some of the goals. Like, we should be laughing at them for celebrating, right? So now the kids you put a different spin on it, and the kids started to feel a little bit better about the situation that they were in, right? And then you said to them, so if the guy at the back doesn't have gloves on, how do we stop them from scoring goals? And the kids came to the decision themselves that actually we need to tackle them and win that ball and stop them before they even become a threat, right? Now, when we went into the second half, we only had 7 players, no subs, and there was a new boy, and he was so shook to go on. Steve just took him off within like 2 minutes into the second half, and we played 6 versus 7, no subs, already conceded 12 goals in the first half. The second half, we only conceded 6, and we were a man down. And they had fresh legs that they could rotate with the subs. And that's because of the chat that you gave them during the half-time, Steve. And the kids actually understood, and they came out fighting now.
Yeah, of course.
You know? And some players were born that day.
Yeah, of course.
Because of that attitude and that mindset that you instilled in them.
Of course. Again, like, you can't it's hard to teach them when they're winning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to teach grit and them type of stuff and expectations of them to fight and be a warrior and that type of stuff, you can't do it when you're winning.
100%.
I can see what you know what I mean? When you're losing, you start to see what's going on. That kid that said come off because he's on the pitch like crying all that. All right, you sit with me then. You're not ready for this. Fine, sit down and watch. He never came back. I never saw that kid again.
Yeah.
Because he lost, he just thought it was too much for him. And never saw him again. Fine, he weren't ready. He was never going to be able to be under 10, 11 with me, because if he can't manage that, then, or if the parent is not willing to allow him to go through that pain, it's long for him. This is football, you know. Like, think about
it. You took him to the battlefield. That's what happened, and
that's the first thing you want to do.
It's hard to explain, but that's mentally draining. I feel like for that, they mentally grew. There's nothing physical.
It's all mental.
There's nothing physical. You see that energy they had in the second half. They could have put that in the third. First, whatever they could have, they had that in them, but it was a mental game for them. So when you spoke to them and you spun it and they started thinking differently, their body just like shown what they had in their head. You know what I mean? They gave what they had. Do you know what I mean? So it was. I feel like they mentally grew in their head.
That's what I'm saying. And again, it's all football is like is a picture in your head. And that's a simple thing. If you like, you can paint that. You can paint whatever you want.
Yeah, visualization.
You can, whatever you want. Like, if that kid says, if you go to a game, right, and you told the kid, look, this is a light game, no problem. We're just gonna go and play. Do what we got to do, and not think about nothing else. Just play the football. Just play the game of football. You know what I'm trying to say? The game of football is very simple. When you have the ball, look after it. Look up. Is there a pass? Make the pass. If there's space, run into it. That's it. There's nothing else. If you just leave it as simple as that, the kids will work it all out themselves.
Yeah.
And then the training that you do in the training, they will start to deliver it on pitch. But it's what you have in your head. So if there's pressure, where's the pressure coming from? It's what they put onto themselves.
Yeah.
Sometimes the mad coaches put it onto their kids, but for me, if I say to them, look, I don't care about nothing. I don't care about nothing. We don't care about nothing other than you working on what you need to work on. Like the stuff we give them to work on, you work on that. When you get to the pitch, express yourself. That's it. What else is there to the game?
Yeah, especially at them young ages as well.
Love it.
Like,
Just
I remember when I was playing, the number one thing you said is you don't care about the result. You just care about the football we played. That changed the whole dynamic of what we were doing. We weren't just doing any means possible to win, playing rubbish football, hoofing the ball up, rubbish shots, just getting lucky. No, it was, okay, am I making the right decision here? And in doing that, we developed. It wasn't about winning the trophy or the league or whatever. It was development of individual players, which not a lot of clubs do.
I think that's what separates us, is because we genuinely will do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's a genuine thing. It's not, we're just saying it, and then when we get there, it's a complete different thing. No. Went to a cup final with no goalie with the girls like last year. Like, We
Is
had
that
a
the
we,
one with Emmy was
yeah,
in
Emmy
goal?
was in goal.
Yeah.
And we had a goalkeeper there, but she wasn't ready yet.
Yeah.
People were saying to me, "Are you not going to bring the goalie?" I said, "Look, we're not going with no goalie. We're going with players." Cup final, and we dealt with it. We won it. But
Proof in the pudding,
of
man.
course, and again, the goalkeepers, it's good to have them, but if you've got outfield players who can play, and everyone's calm and able to be calm under pressure, that you can receive the ball. There's no problem.
Yeah.
If the team's playing good football, then you can have someone in there who can be an extra man.
Mm-hmm.
And the goalkeeper we had at that time wasn't good enough to be an extra man. So I'd rather have a player there.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so, and that's the thing. We got to have guts to do that. You know, and when we have
100%.
when
All
we have
about
guts and
guts.
we as coaches and the team at CSR have
Transfers onto the kids, right?
100%.
The players.
100%. It just
Yeah.
transfers over. Do you know what I mean? So, I think
Just as
yeah.
if you don't have, if you're weak
then it's
and you're nervous and you're scared, the players are gonna feel
They're tense.
like they're gonna feed off
yeah,
of that energy.
of course.
So it works both ways.
Yeah, this is what I mean. Like, this is it. You are. I don't have to look at you. You're there. I don't have to. I just know Kyrel is solid.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not. There's nobody gonna be making him shake and none of that stuff. He's a solid guy. You solid. We're all solid. So, whatever happens, the kids know they're safe.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? The kids know that they're safe. If the kid feels nervous and anxious, it's because of their build and what they're going through. That could be down to their parents or whatever, where they've grown up, whatever. But or they don't feel confident enough in themselves. That's where their little pressures come from, because they haven't prepared enough for themselves. They're not trained enough. So that's why they have their little bits and pieces.
So
But
here's a question:
Yeah,
how
go
do you mentally train a kid? So how do you get a shook little kid who may be good at football, may be rubbish, but mentally they're not ready to do what has to be done on the pitch in training?
yeah,
And I'm talking about the extra stuff. How would you change
Their
a kid from average to more than average?
yeah. So okay, first thing I like to do is to have a conversation with them. Do you know what I'm trying to say? You've got to take the weight off their shoulders first of all. So a lot of time it's just communication, and they don't know what to expect. They might see me, oh my gosh, he's all hard, and you might hear me cussing out one of the kids at the top end,
Yeah.
and think, oh my god, he's gonna kill me, sort of thing.
Yeah,
When I have a conversation with that kid, I say, look, if they're over there, that's the higher end of the session, and I've got high expectations of them.
Yeah.
You've just come in. Don't try to impress me. Don't try to impress nobody. You're here. Let's just get to work.
Yeah.
Our job is to teach you. Your job is to learn.
Yeah.
You're going to make mistakes. Our job is to teach. That's it. Just try to get the weight off their shoulders and ask questions.
Yeah.
So once you start asking those questions, you start to see what type of person it is. Once you get that information, then you can then decide what they do.
Yeah.
So sometimes they might be good footballers, but they're scared. So then
Yeah.
they can't go into the top group. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So it's the question now is, are they strong enough to go into a weaker group knowing that they're good at football? That's the question.
That is the
Do
question.
you know what I'm trying to say? Can the
Because
parent...
This is where the ego
This is what I'm saying.
can get, and the ego could come from the player
Or the
or
parent.
the parent or
Right.
both.
Right. See what I'm trying to say? So
Yeah.
so in this scenario now, it's a toss-up now. Is the child able to go into the group? 9 times out of 10, they will just go, but they'll complain in the car home. Oh my gosh, what am I in this group for? I should be in there. And the parent will say, why is my son not in the top group? Not understanding in football is more than ability. You know, it's about who you are and what you need to work on, especially in training.
Yeah.
Because I can put him in there, and he'll just die immediately. You know, and we have to make sure that person has a chance to work on the things he or she needs to work on, so they can get past the little barriers that they've got. So that's how we do it. So if they're able to do that, then they will win. You know, because then I can say, okay, this is what you got to work on in there. Today, I want you to work on this, or, you know, I'm getting on the ball and dribbling. Don't worry about getting tackled. Go in there and try to dribble and get through as much plays as possible. Just something small as that. Or this time, try to shoot with your left foot in the top corner. Try to get that. One of them, I'm happy. Set little small targets for that person.
Yeah.
When they hit them targets, they're happy. You know, we just simplify everything, but they got to be willing to take a step backwards before they go forwards.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. So this is where the parents come into it. That's why I shoot back. I told the parent, if you can't hear that, I'll explain to you. If you can't manage it, then you got to go. And I'll tell a parent that if you can't hear this, I'll explain to you why. But you can't tell me where your son's going just because you feel that he's good with the ball at his feet. But reality is, he's scared. You know, he's not willing to to take on new information, this, that, and the other. He's got things to work on.
Yeah.
You know. And another thing is when you have children who are physically weaker, you know, they sometimes have these worries a lot. So with them ones, a lot of parents will say to them, or people will say to them, be more aggressive, be more aggressive, be more. But they can't be more aggressive. They don't even know how to be aggressive. They're scared.
Yeah.
You know, every time they touch the ball, they get pushed off it. They're scared. So the first thing we need to do is start working out how can we get them stronger. That's it. So that's where you can come in with your...
I said, for me, and like I said, strong person comes in. Because you can have a small little, frail little kid. For example, Spider-Man. He's small. He's one of the smallest on the pitch.
Resilient.
But he's an animal. He's tough, right? And yeah, he does a few extra things that definitely help him. I know he does boxing or something like that. He's not at home doing push-ups. He's too young for that. But he's strong up here and he's strong in here. That's the number one thing. 100%. So that's where the strength transfers onto the pitch now. Because he's not going to give up, even if it hurts. So I try to give a bit of that to the kid first. Say, listen, it's going to be tough. I need you to toughen up. You're going to toughen up. Without the physical strength, I want you to be tough in there first. Yeah, don't give up. It's going to be tough. You're going to cry. You're going to be upset. Get used to it. It sucks. Get over it. Yeah. Once we get past that, now we can start trying to see what we can do for you to make it a bit easier. Body conditioning, getting used to, because like a lot of the kids that are the strongest are the kids that are doing other sports that have the conditioning, gymnastics, they do boxing, martial arts, all these things, and they have to do body conditioning there. They have to do push-ups, sit-ups, and squats and all stuff like that. So obviously that stuff works. But if the kid's not strong up here or here, you know, you're just building a faster, stronger quitter.
Yeah. Oh my days.
That's it.
And winners never quit and quitters never win.
So it's like that's it, because they're gonna quit at some point. It's gonna take longer for them to quit, but they're gonna quit at some point. They can only take so much because they're not conditioned hair or hair.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So that's the number one thing. I tell the kid, you need to toughen up hair first. So whatever we got to do for that to happen, face your biggest fear. You might not like body contact. I might give you a drill where
Bare
you
body
have
contact.
to. Bare body contact, yep, shoulder to shoulder. You might have me putting pressure on you walking behind you. You got a bigger person. Do you know what I mean? You got to push me now. Do you know what I mean? So
that's what I'm saying. But the main thing, you've adapted the session, even though it's a session happening around, but you can give that person a specific task to work on in that session. That's what I'm saying. That's how we get the players to grow, you know, because in a wider session, we'll give them their own little tasks to do in that session. So they can't hide. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
They can't hide. We know that person's scared. So now we've got to give him challenges so he gets over that. You know what I'm trying to say? So that's exactly that.
Well, that reminds me of what I did with Mohammed at the beginning of the season. Because if you look from when last season ended and you had the summer holidays and the kids came back to school in September, he transformed massively. Like his touch was better, pulling off skills, his technique, everything he could do with the ball was amazing. But what I identified is when he's attacking, he was great, right? When we was playing our first few JPL games. But when it came to defending, he wasn't tracking back. He was scared. If you asked him if he wanted to play in defence, he was also shook, you know? So I made a decision to force him. Like I said, look, I need you to play at the back in, I think it was a Harrow League game, if I'm not mistaken. It wasn't a JPL one. And he said, no, I don't want to do it. It's me. Are you scared? And he goes, yes, me. Either you play at the back or you don't play. So what do you want to do? Are you more scared of being a sub or more scared of being at the back? And he said, being a sub. To me, great, cool. So he went at the back. And to begin with, he wasn't happy. He was uncomfortable. But I told him straight, I know what you can do. Just try your best. At the end of the game, he was smiling, he was happy. Once he made the first few challenges and saw that he could win the ball and he could tackle, he was loving it. So the next week now, goes, Coach, can you put me in defence again?
yeah, that's how it goes, because he saw he was good at it. That's why.
Because here's the thing, one of the biggest things that I learned from one of my mentors is to overcome fear, you've got to do what you fear long enough until you're no longer afraid.
Yeah.
You know, and another girl that the same mentor had mentored also, she's scared of heights, right? She's jumped out of the airplane. The last time I checked, it was 9 times. And she bungee jumped at Victoria Falls in Zimbabwe. Why?
Madness.
Because she's scared of heights.
But that's real living, though.
She's a multi-millionaire.
Yeah.
But if she didn't have the mindset to do them kind of things there, like, I've never jumped out of an aeroplane. You know, I've got no business jumping out of no
I've done a
plane.
bungee jump, though.
You know?
I've done a bungee.
You've done
before.
a bungee jump.
Mad.
We were talking about it just before. That the same attitude it takes is the same thing that goes into the football.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it's transferable. Because it's not just about football. These are life skills that we're helping these children and these kids and these players with.
Develop, yeah.
You know?
Do you know, change the subject a bit, and I'm so particular with what we're doing in terms of developing the kids, because I've seen the other side of the game as well, like where a player gets to 15, 16, and then they start doing crazy things. Do you know what I mean? And we've got
the distractions.
Crazy things as in criminal things.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying? So, and this is why I don't like places that sell academy football. Do you know what I mean? I don't like them because you can have a child in a stable training ground, stable learning, everything's good, but then the flashing lights comes. Do you know what I'm saying? And I've tried my best to not let the kids get caught up in the flashing lights, but some of them do, and the parents do as well. So these places need to be responsible for the kids that come into their places, but they're not. They're so caught up in the lights, the flashing lights. Who can I get through to these clubs? But the ones who don't get through to the clubs, what happens to them? So I'm trying to say, because they're not coaching them no more.
Yeah.
They've left their coaching environments and they've gone these places who are talking about this stuff all day long. But nobody's getting signed there. 1 or 2 might, but the rest of them are just there. And once 1 year of that, 2 years of that, now what? There's no. What do you mean? They've gone down. These guys now have realized, okay, nothing to do with them now. So they moved up. They push them to the side. They get another batch in. But what they don't know is when them players leave, what they're doing next.
Yeah,
and they spent all that 2
They've
years
spent 2 years of doing nothing.
Yeah.
They can't even go nowhere else to get anywhere. You know what I mean? They can't go to a real place now because they've missed out on 2 years of development.
Yeah.
And on top of that, now they're like, okay, it's getting long now. It's getting long. So I might as well do whatever I do. I thought football's going to be my life. Football's not my life, though. What am I going to do? What skills do I have?
Predators out there looking for people that are looking to fill somewhere where they belong.
This is what I'm saying. And that's how a lot of the youngsters end up going down that road, the wrong road, because they don't have no other skills.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? And remember I said to you, like, we're not just going to do football. We're not doing football. How many seminars did I put you in?
A lot. They've been through a lot.
I put you in so many seminars and different classes and different extra sessions, like in group sessions, doing different things, teaching all kind of things. So it enabled you to think outside of the box. Obviously outside of what you're doing at home with your mum and dad. But I made sure I tried to put on as many of those things as possible, so young people can see different things. You know what I'm trying to say? See different things, so they don't do football. There's something else.
Yeah.
For example, we had when we brought in. I'm gonna plug their name here because they were very good. Behind Every Kick, they're a good company. Look them up. I'm gonna tag them. But they what they did for us was they came in, and then we did the football, and then at the end of it they asked everyone. I don't know if you remember this, but they asked everyone what they would like to do, what their interests are outside of football. And remember Sarin? We had a player called Sarin.
Yeah.
Is your age? It was older than you, wasn't it?
1 year older.
Yeah, exactly. That year you were too young, so you couldn't get this. But his age group at the time, they asked him what subjects you like, what do you like to do outside of football, and then he said he likes to do marketing and stuff like that. So he ended up in like one of the best marketing companies through Behind Every Kick.
Oh, wicked.
He ended up in one of the best marketing companies, work experience, and I think I don't know if he had a job thereafter, but he was there just by attending this seminar, and them asking him different questions.
Yeah.
So we had football, but him being in them classes, it allowed him to also meet different people and end up in. And these guys did like the Premier League marketing, you know. So it's not like box standard; it's top end stuff, you know. And they did law firms, people like that, law firms, and all kinds of things. So I feel that at those older ages, these academies just can't be talking about, these private academies can't be just talking about elite. That's nonsense.
Yeah.
That's why I can't stand none of them. I can't stand none of them. I don't like none of them. Look at me. I don't like none of you guys. I'm being real. I don't like none of you, because half of you are just out here trying to make a living for yourself, which is fine, but you're dirty. They're dirty people, and they're killing a lot of kids' dreams and their livelihoods.
They're
sabotaging them going forward.
Bro,
you know what I'm saying?
listen,
And I don't
you
like
just
that.
spoke about marketing. A lot of that elite business is their marketing strategy to attract new customers. I'm not going to say players. I'm going to say customers, because you got to remember, it's a business, you know? And when you look at football Instagram, grassroots football Instagram, and you look at some of these clubs and these academies, and they're having showcase games at, it might be Palace one week, it could be Fulham the next week, it could be Chelsea the week after that, and you're seeing all of these photos outside the stadium and all of that, or wherever the academy games are being played. A lot of that is just marketing. It's to reel in the parents that are chasing that shiny object.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, there's a player, yeah, I'm not going to drop the name, but someone that was at CSR, right? And they had been at least 2 other academies, if not 3, yeah? And then they started training at CSR, and then they left CSR. They had I think they had a trial at West Ham, but when they finished the trial at West Ham, they didn't come back to CSR training, which was cool. And then they had a trial at another club, and they actually got signed for that club. Now, the team that they were playing for, because when they was training at CSR, they were playing with another team, but CSR was additional training for them. The team that they were playing for must have sorted out the signing, yeah? So there was a picture of that coach and the player signing for this particular club, right? But I saw another club, I think it might have even been another 2 clubs that they had previously played for, post an image on Instagram with this player getting signed, yeah, saying, and here's the caption, one of ours, yeah? But that club, he hadn't played for them for like 2 or 3 years. But they're claiming, you know, like, because obviously he had played for that team, but, you know, it wasn't a post where they were congratulating him for being signed. It was a post where the caption literally said, one of ours signing for boom, academy, you know. And I saw that because I'm a marketer, and I saw that. I thought, oh, that's a sneaky little marketing tactic. Because I know he ain't played for you for a good 2 years.
Yeah.
And that's what they do to rope in the parents. But it's not about the players. It's about roping in parents and getting their money.
Yeah. That's what a lot of they're targeting. Like, it's good to go and look at the parents, but a lot of clubs are also just seeing them as customers, because they don't really care about the kid that much, because the kid's not paying them. It's the parents. So they're trying to attract the parents, because if they were trying to attract the kids, they'd be posting different type of content or social media stuff to rope in kids. Do you know what I mean? But most of the time, the parents are lost. If you're a parent that knows nothing about football, you don't have any football connections or whatever, you're just lost in the wild.
Yes.
Whatever the first coach that talks to you, you're just going to assume they're right.
Yeah.
Because you don't know what they're saying.
Because I didn't know any better.
Yeah.
I'll tell you my story in a minute, but you're right. A lot of parents don't know any better.
Yeah.
And but again, like, I know better. We know better. And that's why we can't do none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we could easily do all of that, though. But the main thing is we need to make sure these kids are healthy. Do you know what I mean? They have to be healthy, like, not just like internally healthy, but mentally healthy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? Knowing what to look at and say, knowing what to take. What's the word? I don't know what to say. What's right? What's good? What's good information and what's bad information. They need to understand what is what. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And if they're not, and I don't know a child to be easily led.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See what I'm trying to say? So having self-esteem doesn't allow you to be easily led. So that's part of what we do. So we make sure that we give them enough information. We make sure that the kids are strong enough in themselves to read and understand what's right and what's wrong. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But at this baby age, they don't understand. But we as coaches we know. The parents need to listen to us so we can guide them through. You You know, so if they're not ready for this type of stuff, they're not ready. Just allow them, leave
So
them.
a parent that's just watching that has no connection to CSR, they would be thinking, how can I tell the difference between
Me
you
and
guys and another coach?
yeah. Well, this is it. This is it. How do you tell? But I can tell you how you can tell. You can work out how they treat the people who are not good at football.
Yeah.
Simple as that. If you're elite, you got no. What do you mean? So if your place only has elite players, that means you don't develop them then.
Yeah.
Because where are the players
I've
that
seen
that
it.
came in to you that weren't good enough? Where are they? What? You just get rid of them. So what? Who coached them then? So you're only taking the elite players. So those elite players came to you elite.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
who coached those elite players? That's the thing. So if I go anywhere and I see only elite players, if they've not been coached there since they were 8, 9, 10, then I know this ain't the place. That's the truth. Not saying they're not good coaches, but what I'm saying to you is that's not the place that develops players.
Yeah.
Because if there's no one in there who's developing, then you can't say that place develops players.
Yeah.
People will say, okay, well, I'm a great coach. I develop the top 10 players. Yeah, but who can tell? Who can tell? Who when they're that good, who knows what you're doing? Because really, they look very good already. They're good. They're sharp. What other extras are you doing?
Yeah.
You know?
What's you?
What-
Do you know what I
Because
mean?
when the players are already elite and they're
It's
good
easy.
and they're sharp, what
Yeah,
a lot
easy.
of coaches are actually doing is just facilitating
Yeah.
training as
Yeah,
opposed to
yeah.
100%.
developing
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
the players.
Of course, like when the elite players come to me, for example, when last time I saw Keon, respect Keon, Watford under 14s going in now.
He was overweight as well.
Yeah,
You know,
he's
he's
another
talking
one.
about
Yeah, of
overweight
course,
kids,
yeah,
he was
he's-
over. And
of course,
he's trimmed.
stuck it in
He's
him as well.
He's looking good. He's
Yeah, of
looking
course.
sharp.
Yeah, because you got to tell them. But again, he's a whole other story. But I'll go into him.
His
another
dad
time.
is the reason why I had massive confidence in you.
Oh, yeah.
Marx is my brethren, and he said some things, and that gave me the confidence to know I was in the right place when I took my son to develop and to learn football with you. You know, came from a parent,
Yeah, but what was I saying? I lost my train. What were we talking about?
Keon.
Yeah, but what did I mention him before? Yeah, so when I see him, I said to him, look, don't do me no gas. How are you doing in football? And he will tell me, yeah, I'm doing quite good. Okay, what could you do doing better? He's like, see, he's doing all the work he is doing, but I need to see more. Like, what else can
More
you add in?
self-awareness.
Yeah, he's aware. He's very, very aware. But I mean, yes, you're aware, but what else can we add in? So now we have a different conversation. Whatever you're doing, not interested in that. What else can we add in? So I'm trying to, when I see them, it's not about what they're doing. Like, I'm not looking for the gas, like how many goals, I'm not interested. I'm looking for what else can you add into your game? What else can you add? What else are you thinking about? What other books are you reading? Are you trying to
Are you
grow in
reading
different ways?
books?
Are you reading? Yeah, I'm trying to say. So
Yeah.
all the players that come in, it's more what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? What time are you waking up? I mean, what else are you doing? Because you can't tell me you're just doing regular stuff with your coach and your club. You know what I'm trying to say. So like these type of conversations, I guarantee you, these elite clubs ain't having with the players.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're not having them, and they're not willing to tell them. Listen, they're not ready to tell them off. They're not willing to just tell them why you always wearing your academy kit here for. Take the academy kit or wear black. Why you always coming with this for? What we trying to do? You know what I'm trying to say, because sometimes they wear it like a shield. Do you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So even that, but I don't say it all the time. But depending on who it is, I will say that. If I feel that they're using it as like, so oh look at me, I'm wearing this kit. You know what I'm saying? If I feel that, I'm telling them, no, I'll put it on them. So again, like elite players need different type of challenges.
100%.
You know, it ain't just come here, kick a ball, get a camera on them and do it. That's mad. Because everyone's doing that, and that's not a sign that they're developing or you're developing them.
I don't think that's really coaching, in my opinion. Like you said, it's just facilitating their training. That's all it is. If I have a player that's already elite, for example, I'll say 2 players that I've started coaching that have come in at a very good level. So that Anise is one of them, and Isaiah, right? With Anisa, already signed to an academy, she's got the feet. Now I got to think, how do I take her to a whole nother level? What she not got, like you said. All right, her fitness is good, but is it amazing? No, it's not amazing. It's good, but it's not amazing. How do we raise that? Add that to her game. Is she self-aware of her training? Is she her own coach? No. She needs to be more self-aware and take responsibility for her training. All these small little things will take them to a whole different level. Yeah, Isaiah, he's slightly older. Okay, he's slightly older. He's not the biggest. He needs to do next levels of fitness to keep up with the other boys his age that are taller than me, bigger than me. Do you know what I mean? He's got to be strong. So I got to tell them now, because you're at this level now, you're elite, it's going to suck for you. Being good is great, but it's going to suck now.
Yeah, don't
because
let
your
good
training,
be the enemy of great.
Your training is going to feel terrible. Don't think, oh, I'm amazing now, let me just sit back and relax. No. You've got to do way more harder work than the person who's trying to get to your level.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because just because you got signed doesn't mean I'm comfy. Premier League players ain't comfy, so why are you comfy? Do you know what I mean? So now it's like, how far are you willing to go? That's the first question I ask. How far are you willing to go? Yeah. And they say, I don't know.
But you see, the way we get to this point now, it's all mentality, you know.
Yeah.
From now, it's all mentality. Now, this is the thing. If somebody is just discovering the mental side of football at whatever age, 15, 14, they're just discovering it then. And someone who's born in it from 6, 7, 8, who you think you can push further?
The one that's born into it from 6, 7, 8.
You know what I'm saying? That person, their ceiling's a lot higher simply because you can push them more.
Yeah.
They can push into more things because they're used to, they understand how to think and how to look at different problems, you know. A lot of times people see a problem and want to run away from it, and that's a normal thing, you know. But when they understand and they've been through a lot of problems and they've been coached and they've understood like what a problem is, instead of running from it, let's find solutions, and there's more than one solution.
Yeah,
you know? Where
your focus goes, your energy flows. If you're looking for problems, you'll find them. But if you're looking for solutions, you'll find them.
This is what I mean. Yeah. So once they grow in that mindset, when you get to 15 and they meet you now, and then you're saying, how far can you go? You can push that person a lot further than someone who just discovered it at 15.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you know what I'm saying? And that's why I hate football. This is why I hate football, and this is why I hate all the coaches. That's why I hate a lot of establishments, because in the early ages, all they're doing is talking tactics. Fine, which is important. You need to know how to play football. You need to know the fundamentals of football, passing, tactics, and all that. But no one's talking to them. Like if you talk to a kid about anything, they won't know nothing. They don't know anything.
Yeah.
Majority of them don't know They don't know nothing. But they all want to push into elite level of football.
Well, they know the right answers to say to you, but they don't actually mean them.
They don't.
And in action, and in reality, they don't. Can they put into action when it's needed?
Yeah.
You know, and that's a work in progress. You know, but if it's not spoken about, that gets put under the carpet. And just, if they're scoring goals, everyone's winning. You know, everyone's happy. You know what I mean?
You see that? Yeah. There's a story that I haven't said this to the kids in a long time, and it's probably due for me to say this to the kids. But I know last summer I had a group of them standing around and they were listening, and it fits with what you're talking about right now, because there was a woodcutter who was out in the woods and he had the task to chop down a tree, and he's swinging away at this tree with his axe, and then a senior woodcutter comes along and said, you need to sharpen your axe, it's blunt. But the guy's like, I don't want to have to go into town and get it sharpened and then come back. I'm going to lose time. I'm just going to continue chopping away with this blunt axe. So he's chopping. And then after enough time had passed, he realized, you know what? I'm not getting anywhere. I may as well go sharpen my axe. So he went into town, went into the shop and said to the guy, can you just sharpen the axe for me? And then the guy goes, we got this new device called a chainsaw, right? Literally cut through the tree in seconds, right? Don't need to be swinging an axe. So the guy said, you know what? Yeah, I trust you. I'll buy the chainsaw. So 2-2s now. The man said, look, it comes with a guarantee. As your chainsaw, if you have any problems, come and see me and we'll sort it out. So the woodcutter went back into the forest. And then the next day, he goes back into the shop. He's got blisters on his hands. He looks like he hasn't slept. He's just an absolute mess. And then the guy behind the counter said, what on earth has happened to you? And the woodcutter's like, yesterday, I wanted to sharpen my axe. You sold me this chainsaw and the damn thing doesn't work. And he goes, really? So the guy in the shop picked up the chainsaw, pulled the chain, and it went brrrr, and the woodcutter jumped out of his skin. He's like, what on earth is that sound? And what I said to the youths is, look, first of all, you need to sharpen your axe, because you ain't getting nowhere if your axe is blunt. But secondly, you could have all the tools in the world, but if you don't know how and when to use them, it's pointless.
Yeah.
Because the guy had the chainsaw, he just didn't know he had to pull the chain, didn't know how to operate it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So when it comes to giving kids tactics and all of them things there, it's great, but when they're 4, 5, 6, 7 years old, sometimes that's not really what's important, you know?
They're not going to know how to use it.
They're not going to know how to use it. Do you know what I mean? Whereas working on their heart and teaching them the basics, putting them in situations where they're under pressure, helping them navigate the pressure waters and understand how they can overcome, you know, sometimes that's actually better than, and you got to remember as well, with some kids, you could teach them tactics and they'll know how to apply it, but other kids, they learn differently. Tactics might not be for that child at 7 years old or 8 years old.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Maybe they just want to run around and play football. So we need to understand, and coaches need to understand the different personality types and how different players learn best, and to coach them through that as well.
That's where
what I
the
mean?
adaptability comes into what we were talking about earlier, being adaptable as a coach. And the same way I motivate or talk to or, you know, discipline another kid and say, I might say to one kid, that's rubbish, not good enough, terrible. I know that's going to help that kid. I know that's going to push that kid.
You know, that's what
I know
motivate that child.
You know what I mean? I know that kid's going to take it on the chin and then get to work. Say that to another kid who's a bit more sensitive or whatever. I don't really care about how sensitive they are. I'll tell them either way, right? But I'm trying to get the best out of you. So I'm going to tell you the same message. I'm just going to wrap it in a different font.
Yeah.
Right? My tone might be different. How I say it's going to be different. But the message is going to get across either way. Yeah. Some kids, you might have to embarrass them in front of the whole group.
Red personality.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I'll give you. I don't know if you was there, but I think it was the under-8s training on a Tuesday, right?
No, wouldn't have been there if it was a Tuesday.
It was Macau, right?
Yeah.
And he was giving me rubbish. And Macau, he's levels. He's levels. He's not his age group when it comes to football.
Yeah.
And I must have told him, it's not like that. You're not giving me right. I nutmegged them in front of everyone. Everyone's going, oh, crazy.
Knowing Mikhail, that's going to motivate him.
He's angry. He's like, all right, cool. He's going into everything 100%.
Yeah.
I'm involved. He's tackled me. And he's actually caught me off surprise. And I've gone, rah. He's mashing me up. And I'm like, where was this? I said, I shouldn't have to nutmeg you for you to give me that.
Yeah.
He's like, well, I was embarrassed. And I said, forget all of that. Just give me that straight away. That's amazing. If I did that to another kid, they're crumbling.
Yeah, they're crumbling.
They're crumbling.
Do you know what it is? You got there's 16 personality types if you're looking at Myers and Griggs, but there's 4 basic personality types. My mentor put them into colors, so red, blue, green, yellow, right? Reds are motivated by, how you motivate a red is tell them that they can't do something. I'm going to show you.
Yeah.
Right, they're motivated like that. They're like type A personalities. They love to win. They're competitive. Do you know what I mean? A blue is motivated by having fun. So if you mention the word fun or let them know that they're gonna have fun, that's gonna motivate them to do the thing. A green is motivated by information. They like details. They like facts. So where the others, especially blues, hate facts, green love facts. They love information. You know, so they're motivated by that kind of stuff, numbers, statistics, and whatnot. Yellows are the sensitive ones. Like you do something like what you did to Mikhail and you do the nutmeg, a yellow's going to get upset and probably run away and cry, yeah? But yellows, they're the more caring, nurturing types. So they're motivated by helping others.
But you see, I hear that. I hear all that, yeah? But I hear what you both are saying, yeah? But I'm not, like... Football's football. Do you know what I'm saying?
Football don't change.
Football's football.
Yeah.
Like, it's important to know this information when we're actually coaching them and we know the different personalities. But at the same time, yeah, you can't be sensitive. Like, if you're sensitive, we have to work with you so you're able to manage the hell. You can't be sensitive and be good at football at the same time.
Real talk. But here's the truth,
You can't be both.
Here's the truth, though. Most children, not all, because you're going to get... Because we all have all 4 of those personalities, you know. I've developed myself into becoming as close to a chameleon as possible so that I can actually empathize and relate to
Different
anybody, you know. But what you're going to find, Michael Jordan, red. Messi, red. Ronaldo, red. You know, red. Any sport, you're typically going to find any athlete that competes at a high level is typically either going to be a red or they're going to be very high. If they took a personality test, they're going to score high for reds. With yellows...
What's red again?
Red is like the type A, the competitive, CEO, you know, like, wants to win kind of person. Drive a people that drive Lamborghinis are typically reds. Greens don't drive Lamborghinis because intellectually it makes no sense to drive a car that burns fuel like that. A green is going to buy a Nissan. Or if it's a green stroke red, they're going to buy a Lexus because it's more economical than a Lamborghini, but it's still a bit flash. Do you know what I'm saying? But yellows, the sensitive ones, if you... Not saying that a yellow isn't going to want to play football, but if you find someone that's a very high scoring yellow at any form of athletics camp, it might be because the parents are forcing them to be there.
I would say that's when, if that's not the case, and the player just actually likes football, but they're a yellow personality, I'd say this all the time, they got to disassociate themselves.
Yeah.
They got to disassociate
That's what I'm
who
saying.
they are off the pitch. So that's a mix of both of what you're saying, right? They can be a yellow, perfectly fine.
Yeah.
You're still a great person. But in football, you can't be a yellow on the pitch. You can't be sensitive on the pitch. You can't be caring, and you can, but that's who you are off the pitch. You got to be an animal on the pitch. So, for example, achiever. Animal on the pitch.
Off the pitch, he's so like polite and...
Exactly. So he disassociates himself. Who he is off the pitch and on the pitch are two completely different people.
Boom.
So you got to master that if you're not typically a red person.
Glad you said that, because here's the other thing: people's personalities can change.
Yeah.
Do you know
Over
what I
time,
mean?
yeah. 100%.
Based on situations, the
Experience.
job that you're doing might actually make your personality change. Like, you know, my missus, I know deep down in her heart, she is more than likely a blue. Yeah, blues are like the people that like to party, like to have fun, like to dance, that kind of thing, like to sing. A blue will be the first person to grab the microphone in the karaoke because they're having fun. They're the life of the party, right? But because my missus cared for her mum from when she was like in her early teens all the way up to adulthood in her 40s, when we did a personality test back in 2016, when I first discovered this information, she scored yellow. And yellow, again, is the nurturing, caring type.
Yeah.
So I know she deep down is a blue, but when she scored yellow, that's when the penny dropped and I thought, rah, maybe the fact that she's been a carer for so long
Changed.
has influenced her personality.
Yeah.
And other people, when you're in a working environment, it could be the football environment or any other sport, that will bring naturally the red competitiveness out of somebody that actually wants to be there, you know.
So then that's why it's important to have good coaches, because when they come in with different, based on where their experiences prior to coming in, that could have shaped what they are. You know what I'm trying to say? If they were competitive before, but then they've been to all these places and they've been treated like hell, like I can't swear in here, but you know, treated badly, then eventually that competitiveness might have disappeared from them.
Yeah.
But it's still there. But it's because they've lost it, some of it. They've come into us and we have to build it back. But our job is to like find out. But we can't accept sensitive. We can help them, but we can't accept them.
Perfect example, Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin, perfect example.
Kevin's getting so
You know,
savage.
he came in. Naturally, he's probably a yellow type of person, caring, soft, timid, shy. Nothing wrong with that, you know. But football's a cruel sport. So nearly every training session, he's bawling, he's crying. Nearly every training session, because football's a cruel sport. In that, he he changed over time, and he's still the kind, timid kid, but he disassociates himself. And you've seen Warrior Kevin.
Yeah,
You've seen him when he's a savage.
Yeah.
I've heard him shouting on the pitch, screaming, and he's a timid little, you know, shy kid most of the time. How's he gone from that kid to screaming on the pitch?
It's conditioning.
That's why it's important to know this stuff. You know what I'm trying to say? And
absolutely.
And the coaching is important. Like That's why we can't talk about like all the stuff that these people are talking about, like leagues. They can't be like, I got to win this championship, I got to win it. Yeah, we want to win these championships, but bro, the kid's scared. This kid's scared. That kid's overweight.
Yeah.
This kid's got 2 left feet. This kid thinks he's good, doesn't want to work at home. You know what I'm saying? This kid don't want to do the work. This kid's lazy. This kid's parents are not taking this thing seriously. You know, they're boosting him up too much, or this, that, and the other. There's so much other things we need to sort out. If we could focus on the other stuff, but then all this, what we do, then we can't do this.
Yeah.
Then we can't do this work. You know what I mean? We can't do this.
This is the more important work, though, because they win the league, they win trophies, yeah. You're building memorable moments, having fun, all of that. But that's not what matters right now. You know what I mean? They're not professional footballers. They ain't earning no money.
And here's the thing, yeah. Probably the biggest, when I transitioned from being just a parent to actually being a coach or a parent that's also a coach, right? I learned something valuable from you, Steve, yeah? And remember, my son, he started training late. So he started training about a month before he turned 7, right? And then about 4 months after he started training at CSR Mini Kicks, he got into Wildstone's green team. So Wildstone at the time had 4 teams. The green team was the team that they put together for all of the kids that didn't make it into the top 2 teams. But they had so many trialists, they made the blue team and the green team. And the green team was the one at the bottom. And most of the kids that were in the green team that Jamil was in at Wildstone, half of them did not want to be there. Their parents wanted them to play because they were just unapologetically not interested in the game. They weren't moving, they weren't doing nothing. So when Jamil was in that team, he was scoring goals. He was always playing up front. They had him playing up front. He was scoring goals. He was doing all sorts. And I loved it. My boy, that striker, scoring goals, you know what I mean? But I identified he can't be in a team where he's the best player in the team and the team ain't even good, you know? So I took him out of there and we moved to Inventive, and I was really happy when he was in Inventive because now he's starting playing football with this team and he's at the bottom of the pecking order. Do you know what I'm saying? But what happened later on that season, when Jamil was at the bottom, right, he's working hard, coming home, couldn't wait to train after training, do you know what I'm saying? Like, he just wanted to catch up with the other kids, right? And then they started putting him up front again because he was the fastest kid. He's got a strike in him. Do you know what I mean? And I'm getting gassed because my son's scoring all of these goals. But I realized when I started putting the coach's lens on, now that I'm getting into the world of coaching, I'm realizing, my son ain't developing. Because when he's a striker, what's the striker do typically in any football game?
Just hangs up top most of the time to receive the ball from the midfielder or wingers.
Ding, 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 ding. So when I'm the parent getting gassed up, my son's the striker, he's scoring goals,
Bro.
I was overlooking the fact that he wasn't developing because he's waiting for the ball to be served to him. And there were some teams that we played that were tough. The players around my son, players around Jamil ain't serving the ball. Do you know what I mean? So that brings me on to the most powerful thing that I've learned from you, Steve. There's 4 types of players in any game. You could be a player that's on the losing team and you've lost because your touches were bad, your passes were bad, the fact that you're losing, you've dropped your shoulders, your head's down, you're sulking, bad attitude, all the rest of it, right? So you could be that player. Or you could be on the winning team, but you're still the losing player because your touches were bad, your passes were bad, you know, you just weren't in the game, you weren't making runs, you were lazy, right? Or you could be on the losing team, but you're a winning player. Great touches, great vision, great IQ, great communication, head up, rallying the troops, being a leader, all of the good qualities that you expect from a world-class player. So you're on the losing team, but you're demonstrating those attributes. And then you could be the player on the winning team that, again, is demonstrating those attributes. And the reality is, I've seen some teams that are winning games. And I see some parents that are gassed, but they're gassed and their child isn't even contributing to the win.
Yeah.
And I realized very quickly that I did not want to be that guy.
Mm.
I didn't want to be that guy.
That's so important, you know. And that's just experience. I've been in it a long time, and I've seen this unfold a lot, many times over. So, like what we're saying, like winning and losing, one person can score a goal and that team wins. Do you know what I mean? But they play terrible. Like they're hoofing the ball all over the place. Keeper just hoofing the ball. Everyone's overweight. You know, everyone's got 2 left feet, but one person scored more than the other. You know what I mean? And then that parent will go home happy. Yeah, it's fine. If you're looking at the game, like win and loss, yep, happy, you go home, eat your Sunday dinner. Well done. Tell your uncles and aunties and everyone that you won.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Fine. But if you're talking about development now, yes, you won the game. But again, what are we doing? What was the team doing that won? Do you know what I'm trying to say? And again, like for example, if our teams lose, and I'm happy with everyone's performance, the kids will know they're happy.
Yeah.
The kids will come off and they know they play well because how they've been conditioned. They know that when they get on the pitch, there's certain things they got to do and certain standards they got to keep to. If they do that, the result nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
Nothing to do with them. You want to look. People say that if you keep losing, you lose confidence, and you no. If you lose, but you have the winning mentality, you're winning.
Yeah.
Because you can lose. Anybody can lose. But if you have the winning mentality, that's what counts. If you're losing and you don't have the winning mentality, now you've lost.
Yes.
And that's what we have seen. Like most people who are winning all the time, all these teams that's all gas. When they start losing, you start to see who's who.
See what they're made of.
And they're all in those teams. None of them are at CSR.
Yeah.
None of them. There's not one. None of them because they know how to lose. Our team knows how to lose because we make them lose early. They've been back. I make them get battered.
Yeah.
I make them get battered.
Reset with no gloves.
I make them get battered, so they know about losing. So we see who they are. Go on.
I got an interesting question, right?
Go on.
So on that subject of, let's say your team wins, or your team loses, but you played well. For me as a player, I would say I had a bit of an ego, right? And I believed I like to think I tried to use my ego in a positive way. So I would think in my head, okay, I'd rather my team lose 4-3 and I scored all 3 of those goals than my team win 4-0 and I scored none of those goals.
Yeah.
And for me, it's because
That's
I took
not
my
bad.
personal, my football personal.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't cry or anything or act up or be miserable. But
you
deep
feel
down
it.
in my head, I'll go home. We've won 4-0. We've won the final.
You ain't done nothing.
And I ain't done nothing.
Yeah.
I barely helped. Like, yeah, we won. We celebrated. Yeah. You didn't do nothing. You know what I mean? And this is what I mean. You got to take your football personal. So whenever, like, any players that I coach and I do one-to-ones and they're telling me about their matches, oh, yeah, we won.
Yeah, what do you do, man?
I said, what did you do? What did you
Yeah,
do?
of course.
I said,
Yeah.
name
How
me
did you
3
contribute?
or just 2 good things you did. I was moving the ball a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you contribute to your team? Like, forget scoring a goal. Was you a leader on that pitch? I came on for like 20 minutes. Barely did anything.
Yeah.
Even if you barely came on 20 minutes, what did you do in those 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So for me, I make sure if everyone takes it personal, it flows. If everybody's taking it personal, doing their job, everybody's winning.
That's what I'm saying, and that's the thing, and that's I feel that's not everywhere. You know what I'm saying? When we go out and we're seeing all the football that's happening, you know, every conversation I have with another coach is always about, oh, what clubs are they? They're always talking about external stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm saying, like, oh, what academy? Forget all of that. I don't even talk that language. Yes, I'm a scout. Yeah, but I don't talk that language. Like, it's dead. Like, all of that academy, that's all nonsense. Like, yes, if you're good enough, you'll go. But having these conversations all the time about that is madness.
Yeah.
Because the reality is nobody's good enough.
Yeah.
Half of these players are not good enough. That's the reality. Reality is half of them are not good enough because they're not able to deal with pressure. That's number one. They don't know how to cope in different scenarios. They're not adaptable. Their parents don't understand, so their parents are talking madness to them.
Parents are the worst, you know.
Right. So if you
The
talk,
child spends more time with the parent than they do with the coach.
right. So if you're talking about academy football and all that elite stuff, if you're talking about it, it means you don't know what you're talking about. The real elite players, they're just training. They're just doing what they need to do. They're not running around. They're quiet. They're quiet. They're just doing what they need to do step by step, following the process. They're probably even playing football all the time. They're doing swimming. They're doing yoga. They're doing gymnastics. They're doing my daughter.
Basketball.
Yeah, everything. My daughter does everything other than football. She does football sometimes.
Yeah.
She can play football, but she doesn't love football. So she does gymnastics. She does swimming. She does martial arts.
But she's
She does
bad.
swimming. But she can play football, and she's athletic, as you know. She's athletic. She's
Yeah.
hungry. She's competitive. She's got all the elements. But then other girls who are her age, they're already doing all this madness already. But I know deep down, when if they got pressure, they're out of the game.
Yeah.
My daughter's having to deal with immense pressure in gymnastics. They have to go and compete by themselves. That's another level of pressure.
Yeah.
Do you know, a different level of pressure.
They don't have a team.
There's no team. There's no support.
There's no hiding.
There's no hiding. It's just
No
you. You
hiding.
mess up, especially if you want to win. If you're competitive, yeah, super competitive, and you lose, yeah, and it's just you to blame, that's a different level of pain. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So if you're talking about building up the character, all I care about is that she's okay and able to compete in anything in life, you know, and just look after herself and be strong enough in that way. So every child's different. Everyone's different in their journeys. I get that, but I want my daughter to be an athlete. I want her to be an athlete in something. Yeah, that's what I want her to play football, but she doesn't want to play it yet. But deep down, if you ask me what I want from her, I want her to play football, high level.
But you
I
know,
want
She's got it as well.
if you force
Yeah.
it down,
I can't force her.
down, you know what I mean? She's
can't force
she's
her.
gonna
Organic.
avoid it more.
Exactly. So I can't force her. I leave her. That's why people say your daughter should be playing football. But your daughter should be playing football. Or you bet you coach her all the time. I don't coach my daughter. I don't take her out. She does everything else
She
other than
doesn't
football.
even
She
watch
enjoys
football either.
Something.
enjoys
When
it.
she comes, she loves it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because she
Exactly.
likes to win.
She's mad competitive.
Competitive.
Mad competitive. So when we're talking about like building a proper player, those are the elements you need to have. So it's a choice now for me. If she wants to go and do that, I just have to just coach her in the technical side of it. But that's easy to learn.
Yeah.
Because she knows she's already got the
football's
coordination.
easy part.
Yeah, but you can't when they're not competitive, or if their competitive level is on 0 or 2, and someone else is on 10. You ain't beating that
you've got
person.
no chance.
You're not beating that person.
Because the ego that you were talking about earlier, that's healthy ego. You know, like, because you want to win and you want to do better, and you will go back and reflect and work on yourself. You know, like as kids, we're always told this thing: when something goes wrong, we're taught what can we do different. Do you know what the better question that we can actually ask ourselves? And this is the key as well. You know, we need to get better at asking ourselves better questions. So a better question is, what could I have done better? And because you're that type of person, and your ego is like, boy, if we're gonna lose 4-3, I want to be the one to score the 3 goals.
Yeah.
Right? And if that doesn't happen, I already know, because you're like me, you're going to walk away and you're going to ask yourself, what could I have done better? And you're going to replay everything in your mind and dissect what you could have actually done better and bring that
opportunities,
into your game,
yeah.
or start working on that, because you'll see where your learning areas are, because it's all L's and W's, right? But an L is not a loss if you're a champion. An L is a learning experience.
100%.
You know,
100%.
that's shaping you,
That's what I mean.
building your character.
That's what when we have these conversations and we treat the kids like this, they become bulletproof almost.
Yeah.
You know what I'm trying to say? They're not phased by foolishness. Not phased by, oh, we beat your team. The kids will look at them and go, what are you talking about?
What are
So
you talking
you
about?
really didn't do anything. You're rubbish. But you won, so.
And you know what? The kid that did the least is usually the first one to
Yeah,
say that.
always
as well,
talking
you know?
Yeah.
with the big mouth. So I'm saying the
Always.
big mouth. And they talk a lot of nonsense, you know. And then the parents talk nonsense as well. But I shoot back. I keep saying this, yeah. I shoot back. Yeah.
Back.
I shoot back. I shoot back. I will say, okay, but what did you do? You know?
Yeah.
What did you do? Same thing. Like, what did you do? Did you contribute to the game? What did you do? And I feel that these questions need to be asked more.
Definitely.
You know, and people need to like raise the bar for children and not allow them to run around with their big mouths.
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Because a lot
Like-
of people are delusional, man. Like,
It's madness.
from the outside, from a parent's perspective or somebody who doesn't play football, it's just simple. Play the sport, train a bit, try your hardest in a match. When there's so many layers, many layers to it that you wouldn't understand if you're not in it. If you're not a player or you're not a coach, you wouldn't understand it. So the way how we see football and the players see football is very different from the parents. Do you know what I mean? They don't see the level of confidence, the pressure, the weather, how that affects. Do you know? There's so many different conditions, and we see it. So, you know,
That's why I have to have these podcasts. That's why we've got to do
Yeah.
these things. So we can have these
Yeah.
conversations and they can listen and take something from it.
yeah,
I mean, because it's important to get this information out there. You know, because again, information out there is always elite. How to become elite? That's all nonsense. How do you become elite? Very simple. Do the basics well. Eat good. Become athletic.
Ooh, diet.
Try different. That's another thing. Try different sports. Try different ways of getting fit. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
If you do those things and you've got a good mindset and you're good at football
winning.
and you want to do it and you're not being pushed. Obviously, everyone needs to get pushed at some point. Because people argue, okay, do you push your children? Yes, children have to be pushed. I believe they need to be pushed, but to a certain extent. If the child is 11 now and they're not pushing themselves for football, they don't want to play it.
Yeah.
It's fine though. It's fine. Let them just play football because they might get the love later on. But if you have to push them, they just fall out of love.
Yeah, and it becomes a luxury as well, isn't it?
It's interesting that you said 11 because the age 11 keeps on coming up with both parents that have older kids and players, you know, like I'm sure Dante said that when he was 11, that's when he switched on. Andy said the same thing, but Andy's dad, they went on holiday, and when they came back from holiday, his dad confiscated his PS or whatever it was. And for those of you that don't know who Dante and Andy are, Dante used to coach with us. Andy is currently a coach, but he also plays for Leyton Orient. And Dante was at Southampton, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I've spoken to loads of parents that have said it was, you know, at 11 years old, that's when my child switched on, between 11 and 12. Jamil's cousin, Qasim, he plays as a centre forward and he's in semi-pro football. He said the same thing. It was between 11 and 12. That's when he switched on. So with your years of experience as a coach, Steve, is there a common theme with the age 11, or have you seen it at various different ages?
Yeah, different ages. Because I've seen like in different ways though. Like for example, if you look at Eggy, Eggy will train well. He's hungry.
Yeah.
He will come up. He doesn't have to be pushed. I know he's not being pushed to go football. You know what I'm saying? But he will turn up and give you 100% every session.
Yeah.
So he can
He's
come out
been
like that.
from morning.
Exactly.
Even when he didn't have the feet that he's got now.
This is what I'm saying. So it will come out in that way where he's just playing. You know, but then you get some of them who are just coming out there. Do you know what I'm saying? Now 8, you allow them. 9, 10, getting to 10 now, they're still like all of that. Then they don't want to play football.
Yeah.
But again, for me, us as coaches, we can put on them. We need to pressure them, those type of kids, to see if they actually want it or not.
Yeah.
Right? But if the parent is also at home having to force them, go, you have to go to football, you have to go, then football ain't the sport for them.
Yeah.
It's just not the sport for them, and that's okay. There's other sports, man. Or just play football just for the sake of it.
Yeah.
But don't
Play
put yourself
football
in
for
places.
fun.
Yeah, just play for fun. But don't put yourself in places where
It's serious.
yeah, it's serious. It doesn't make sense for them. Let them just go and play football for just playing football's sake. I think that's what we've lost now in football. Everybody wants to do the higher end of the game. In reality, half of them not going to get to the higher end of the game. So, if you've got talent, you will get there with the right support and the right network. But I feel that the fun side of it, if you can play, you can play for fun as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like if you don't have all of them things, fine, play for fun. And as long as you're training well, like my daughter, she plays football for fun, but I make sure that she's training well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She's training well. Her body is good. She's fit. She's knowledgeable. She understands what competition is. She understands about failure. All of those things, she's okay with it. So she can do football until she's ready to take it serious. You know what I'm saying? But if you make them serious from minute one, by the time they hit 12, they ain't got none of the other stuff. They're finished.
Yeah.
They're finished. But we're still forcing them. So I think we need to give them a place where they can just play football without the noise. If a kid ain't on it, let them just play. Let them play. But the coach has to pressure them though. Like, don't think they're coming to football and the coach is leaving them. Coach has to give them the real experience.
That's part of the job.
100%. Give them the real experience, but the parent, leave them. You know what I'm trying to say. And if they can't manage that, move them to a place where they can just play for fun.
Yeah.
But some kids can be in intense environments, but if you have to pressure them as well, on top of our pressure, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, don't make sense.
Let us
You might
pressure
just
them.
push them away from the
Exactly.
actual game.
And it varies.
Come to us, you're getting pressured.
It varies
Simple, you get
during
pressure.
like the age as well. Do you know what I mean? The same way you're not gonna pressure the under 13s.
The same as a baby.
Exactly, do you know what I mean? But the babies are still going to get pressure. You're still going to expect something from them, but their pressure's not going to be as
Different
intense.
levels.
Do you know what I mean? So if you're an older player complaining that the coach is on you and the coach is a bit mean or they said something a bit harsh to you, you're ready for football. What do you think happens in academies and all these places? You think the coaches are just there nice? No. This is real football. The expectations are high. It's not always going to be nice. Do you know what I mean? So you got to deal with that, especially if you're older. If you're older and you can't hack a coach shouting at you, telling you perform, this isn't good enough, you need to do better, then it's not for you. If the coach is doing that when you're not playing, that's not right. But in the training, in the matches, you got to handle it. You got to handle it. You know what I mean? If you feel a way, you're allowed to speak to the coach on the side 100% and voice your opinion. But you have to hack it in the training. In the training, it has to happen.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Interesting that you say that, actually, because David the other week, and David's a remarkable player, and I'm sure I told you this, Kyrel. What I've said to David is I know you're going to go and score a hat-trick. Even on a bad day, you'll pull out 1 or 2 goals. Not interested in the goals. I'm only interested in your work rate. You know, and you got the little playmaker trackers. So I want your work rate to be above 80 meters per minute. Do you know what I'm saying? So that's what I set him. But I think it was you, Steve. You said something that upset him a few weeks ago, or it might have even been me. I can't remember, but you know, he didn't take to it pretty well and all the rest of it. And I said to David, and I said this in front of his dad, I said, look, when you're older, right, you're either going to be a professional footballer or you're going to do some other work. If you're doing some other work, right, guess what? You might have a boss that you won't like or is going to say things that you don't like. You're going to have colleagues that may say things that you don't like. You may have customers that will say things that you don't like. In life, you're going to deal with people that will say things that you don't like. But I tell you something, in the work environment, you need to know how to handle when someone says something that you don't like. Because if you do go pro footballer, guess what? That's going to be work. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
So it's better that you learn. When I told you to lift your head up and to fix your face, it's better that you learn now, because then it's going to be easier pill for you to swallow later on in life when you're in situations and you're dealing with someone who has authority over you. Do you know what I mean? So, like, in this game that we call life, there's always going to be scenarios where you're having to deal with something that you might not like, you know?
Yeah, of course. That's what I mean.
But the question is, how do you handle it?
Yeah.
Is it going to serve you the way you handle it, or is it going to work against you?
That's why we do what we do, though. See what I'm saying? Like, early, when we have these conversations with them, early, they're prepared. If you don't have them, they're not going to be prepared. Obviously, at home, the parents can do as much as they can, but there's only so much a parent can do when these subjects. The best way to do it is in a sport where there's so many opportunities.
From hearing it from a coach and a parent.
100%.
Yeah.
And we can provide them with so many different opportunities to learn these things in football. That's why I move people's groups. I just move them randomly. Go in that group.
See how they do it.
Yeah,
I
what are you
clocked
talking
that.
about?
I clocked that
What
the
you
other
doing?
day.
Yeah, go that group. What do you mean? They automatically think they're not doing something bad, and then you start to see them fall apart. And that's when you can coach them. Just because I moved you, you should say, okay, he moved me over there. Why? I don't know. I can ask him, but I need to go over that session and still do what I need to do. Ask what's going on in that session and contribute to it. If I go to that session and have my shoulders down and my head down, that's not good. I need you to go over there and be the same player that you were over there, or better than what you were over there.
You've got something to prove now as well.
Exactly. We've got to give them these opportunities to go through stuff and then work a way out of it. You know, if they got a bad attitude, now there's a conversation at the end of it now. Okay, you went there. Why were your shoulders like that? Why were you showing bad attitude to the coach? Why were you doing this? Why were you doing that? That's not what we expect. If you've got this standard, then you need to raise the standard of everyone else, but also your standard needs to stay high. You know, your shoulders drop. I can't do nothing with you when your shoulders are dropped. Yeah. You're not here. You're not here. It doesn't make sense you being here if you're like that. So I'm watching them when they're comfortable, and I watch them when they're not. All of us, we can see them when they're uncomfortable and what they're doing, and we coach them then.
Yeah,
you know, and that's it. that's the difference with people who actually coach children and care for children, and the other lot, you know, who just say, come to me, I'll get you signed at this club. That's mad. And when you think about it, what we're talking about, then people just say, come to me, I'll get you signed at this club. What do you mean? Yeah, you get you signed at the club.
When they
It's mad.
Be a stick and no carrot.
It's mad. Like, it's mad. I would never say it to a kid. Come to me, I'll get you signed. I would never say that. And I'm a scout. I'm a scout. I would never say that to a kid or to a parent. Come to me, I'll get you signed. No, because if you come to me, you got to go through work, and it works ugly sometimes. Yeah. Especially if you're pushing on that level, it's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be ugly, and if you're not willing to go through it, it's long. So I would never say to a kid, come to me, I'll get you signed. Don't even come to me. If you're watching this, don't bring your kid to me to be signed. Bring them to us to work and learn how to be a stronger person and player. Both of them need to grow, not just one, you know?
Yeah.
Well, it's interesting that you're saying that, Steve, because I'm also conscious of time, and I missed the first 10 minutes. So I'm just wondering, have you told the viewers and the listeners why you're qualified to speak on the things that we've been speaking on for the last 2 hours?
In part, so again, I've been doing this for about 20 years, and in this game of football, developed multiple players into academy footballers. But along the way, there were a lot of players who didn't make it, who didn't even get to that. So I spent a lot of time observing that and doing a lot of trial and error with players, you know, like, you know, and through the errors I've made as well, I've made errors, you know, in terms of, you know, putting players places where they shouldn't have been, you know, in terms of academy football, putting them too early. They go there, they fail, then building them back up was a challenge, you know. So, because I've done it early in my football, I realized that, okay, they've gone too early. Now I've got to rebuild them back. So, because I learned from that, I don't put them in there early. I put them through the work. And then the ones who got signed, a lot of them were getting released. I'm thinking, why are they getting released? Because one, they get released because mentality was all over the place. Do you know what I'm saying? Mentality is all over the place. So what qualifies me is just the amount of people that I've worked with over time and focusing on these elements. You know, even when I'm winning cups and all them type of stuff, I was still looking at these elements and focusing more on why players are not getting where they need to get to, rather than the players who are getting there. You know what I'm trying to say? Because that was easy. We're churning them out, easy peasy. They're all just sign. New one come in, sign. So the training was good, but why weren't the others getting signed? They were good. You know? Okay. So it's mainly that, you know, working with them.
True that, because people need to, they need to hear, they need to understand that you know your team. And
that's my passion as well. Like, my passion is like helping people, helping athletes become better, you know, and whatever that looks like, you know, just become better. And it's a passion of mine. So it's not like I don't do this. I live this. It's every day. You know what I'm saying? Where some coaches, they just coach for that moment, you know, and they go live a different life after. But I live it every day. It's an everyday thing for me. There's no cut-off point. You know, it's every day. It's what can I do? What can we do to improve multiple children's lives, you know, over time? Yeah.
100%. Right. So as you're saying that, you like to work with athletes that want to get better, and you've helped athletes and players to get better. For anyone that's viewing this or listening right now, where can they get information?
Okay.
So on any of the subject matter that
so we've got
to improve
on our website, we've got something called the CSR Academy Hub. That's like our blog page. So we've got a lot of topics on there where we dive deep into specific topics, you know, and these are controversial topics as well. And we'll put a link up somewhere in there for you guys to click on and divulge further in. But a lot of stuff that parents need to know and players need to know, like
such as
talk on things like confidence, like praise, is it good or is it not good? You know, when to praise, you know, all these different topics surrounding the game, not the obvious ones, you know, like you're not going to see anything on there how to get my son signed to a club. You're not going to find that on our pages. It's always going to be something which is detailed and something which will help you and your child grow, you know, in whatever way that is, you know, and it's different things.
That's really important. The fact that you said help the parent, you and your child grow, because it's a journey that
both of them go together. Man. Yeah, and I feel once we marry that up properly, where parents understand a bit more, then we can get the job done. But it's a child and the parents. If the parents understand, then it works. So the CSR Academy Hub, www.csracademy.co.uk/CSR Academy Hub. Yeah, just go there and you'll see everything. Socials as well. TikTok CSR Academy. TikTok for me, CSR Academy, and Coach Cole, what's yours?
At Coach Kyrel, just on Instagram. You find me on the CSR page, and that's about it. Just always be around.
In our next one, we're gonna talk about the extra stuff that you do as well. You know, you've got you see this guy on
Savage.
This guy, I don't know him anymore. Like this morning, I looked at it, 3:54. This guy's running down the street,
It inspires
topless.
me.
Yo, CSR Academy. You understand?
Fanatics.
CSR Academy, we full of style, but we not style pon them. Money investment in a your child and them. We skills hotter than the pot where you boil dumpling. Boil dumpling. Steven, you are the big man. Him teach your child nothing. Tell the next academy if you try something. Get burned up like you ain't fried dumpling. Now but I try stunting, you understand?